Welcome back to Our Community. Suzie Thomas with you, visiting with Donna Goodwin Barr, talking about Women Empowered 2017. Again, why do women need to be encouraged and empowered?
Well, everybody does. It's not just women. Mm-hmm. We encourage our children and our grandchildren, and we encourage our friends when they're down. Everyone needs that.
And you talked about, let's get into your own story because it's so good and so interesting that it took you a couple of years after hearing from God to branch out and do Encourage, then Empower Ministries. Yeah. Tell us about that process.
Oh, my. Just in my daily walk with him, as I would talk to him and listen to him and plan out where I felt he was leading me. And he kept leading me to be more of a leader. I was a mentor leader and still am with New Point. But I felt like I needed to branch out. I needed to go farther than that and maybe do it other days, Mm-hmm. So I talked to the pastor, Jeff Matthews, that kind of mentors me in that direction. And Jeff said, you're a mentor. You're called for this. This is the gift that God has given you, this encouragement.
He was able to see that in you.
He saw that. Mm-hmm. He saw that, and it was like blinders came off. Mm. I was able, after hearing that affirmation, that, okay, this isn't something, as you said, that I'm just wishing in my heart. It was more than that. So I thought, okay, well, I do life plans, and I've done a life plan for myself for years. So I started planning a ministry, how I wanted to take this and run with it. So one of the first things I did, I enrolled in the New Point Institute. I wanted to get that diploma to know as much biblically that I possibly could to make sure that I was giving the correct information to people. Started a discipleship process through that, which is just an extension of mentoring. We want to take them into their faith walk as well. So I attended the New Point Institute for about 2 years and graduated finally. And now I'm in the process of licensing examinations. I received my confirmation so that I can help and assist if they would call with different things. But now I'm in the licensing process. So when I finish my exam, then I'll be interviewed, and then hopefully, if I'm accepted, then I can be licensed through New Point.
Well, that is all awesome, and we just wish you all the best in that whole process. You used an interesting term, life planning. Yeah. I love that whole concept. You could do a conference on life planning.
Oh, easily. And the fourth speaker, unfortunately, is me.
Oh, well, let's get to that. You mentioned only 3 speakers. So, Donna Goodwin Barr, is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Empowered to
go forward.
Go forward.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And I want to not only encourage them, okay, you've heard all of these things. I want to also give them some tools, and one of those is a life plan. I want them to know what a life plan is, know that it totally revolves around where God is leading you, not what your mom wants you to be when you grow up. Mm-hmm. It's all about where God is leading you and those steps.
Let's talk about that life plan. What are the, I don't want to give everything away because people need to attend the conference, but for listeners driving along saying, oh, that's really an interesting concept, how do you sit down and put one of those together?
It takes a little time initially because...
So it's not a day?
It's not a day, no. I guess the setup of however you want to do it could be in a day, whether you're doing an online format or whether, like I do, you just have a journal.
Okay.
And mine is divided into sections. So I have a section for every area of my life, whether it's relationships, whether it's my ministry, whether it's a career, your health. You just break your life apart into pieces.
Into all the different
areas, the roles you play.
Are there good questions to ask yourself then as you look at all of those areas? What would those questions
Absolutely.
be?
Some of the questions, and they're called inquiry questions.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I have about 2 pages of them.
Wow.
But you look at them and you go through them, and it's things like, what makes your heart sing?
I love that.
What do you have passion for? What makes you cry? You know, where do you feel the strongest? You know, and what are your weaker areas? And it's more just discovering yourself. I really believe that when we're born, God has already given us our gift. He knows exactly what we're going to be doing with our life. He has it from the beginning to the end. But we need to discover that. And unfortunately, from the time we're a baby and we're just this open book, life happens.
There's a lot of reaction to life. You know, kids are, I think of a 15-and-a-half-year-old or 16-year-old. They want to be able to drive somewhere. They want to have a car. They need to be able to afford insurance and gas, and so they get a job. It's not like they're career-oriented, but it's got to get a job so that I can pay this.
Right.
If that same mentality continues, you can find yourself being a 55-year-old person. I got to pay the mortgage, and so I need to go to this job. And really taking the time to figure out, am I doing what I was created to do, doesn't even come into the mix. How do you turn that around? Can you turn it around?
Oh, absolutely. You know, begin to think about who you were when you were a child. What roles did you like to play when you were being imaginary? You know, did you pretend you were a nurse? Did you pretend you were a teacher? Think about the thoughts you had then. You know, what made you happy? What made you laugh then? Because a lot of those will point directly to who you are inside.
So God placed those. Those were built in. He gives us the desires of our heart. Those desires are in there because they are God-given.
Absolutely.
So what do you do, Donna, when you get to the end of your life plan and you say, well, I'm doing this all wrong. I don't have the right job. Hopefully I'm married to the right person. You know, what do you do when you get to your life plan and see some major adjustments need to be made?
You start looking for those doors.
And let me clarify that, yes, if you are married, that is the right person. Yes.
Absolutely.
But what do you do?
Okay, so every day you present what you look at your life plan, daily, weekly, whatever you can. And then you present to God what you intend to work on that week. You know, because all these areas, there's going to be something yelling, and we have a habit of addressing whoever's yelling the loudest. Well, in this process, you take it all to God, and you say, this is what I'm saying, this is what I feel, whatever you want me to do, whichever of these is part of your plan, open those doors and shut the others. And He will direct you. He will direct you. You'll get a phone call that is pertinent to where you're looking, maybe in your career.
True.
Yeah, it's very true. Financially, you have this burden. But by giving it to Him, invariably, it will work out.
Watch Him take care of it. It's mind-boggling every time.
It is.
All right, let's talk about these doors. What if so many doors are opening? It's tough to decipher what is God. What if you have so many opportunities and they all sound great? How do you... praying for some to close would be really good, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And you move forward cautiously. I mean, this isn't a pray once and go through 3 doors. It's like pray, move forward, look around. Take the time to see, okay, I've went through this door. Is this making me comfortable? Is this where I want to be? Or you may be going along just great, taking all these classes to reach your career goal, and something just literally stops you.
Yes.
Well, He may not want you to go and become a corporate attorney. He may want you to go off and do something else.
But needed the knowledge.
But you need the
that
knowledge.
You picked up in those classes.
Or keep in mind, everybody that you meet, this life isn't coincidence. He puts people in your path. So you may be in a career, and it may be just for a short time, and it may end whether you want it to or not. But for that time period, if you look at that time period you were there, you'll see someone's life that you were able to touch,
Wow.
or someone that touched you, or someone that encouraged you or lifted you or opened your eyes to some new opportunity.
Oh, that's really good. When you think about it, think of those times that I've heard God doesn't move you from place to place, but from people to people. And you're absolutely right. Think of those times that you were just rubbing shoulders with someone, and it wasn't necessarily that what you were there for was the reason you were there.
Right.
It was in order for that relationship to be built.
Absolutely.
Okay, as we're talking about the empowering to follow God, that's got a lot to do with it, doesn't it? As far as knowing what doors are opening, what doors are closing, and to pray without ceasing.
And the patience it takes.
And don't we need to listen every single time?
Absolutely.
Just as you were saying, it was important for Abraham to hear God and take Isaac and go to make a sacrifice. And it was every bit as important for Abraham to hear God say, stop.
Yes.
Because I'm providing that sacrifice. That's not Isaac. That's not what I had in mind at all.
Absolutely.
So,
and he will. He'll take you to a particular place, and you're like, what am I doing here? This isn't even me. But if you talk to him, if you go to him and pray about it, he'll reveal the answers.
And isn't that just
will.
his presence in this with his Holy Spirit? It's like, well, we're doing this together.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't say, here you go. Now go do this. I'm right there with you.
And I try to take the Jesus method. Sometimes I joke a little, but I'll say, Jesus didn't push people around.
No.
Or drag them. You come over here and, but he was there. He walked beside them. He held their hand, and he encouraged them.
So good. All right. The conference is Women Empowered. It is presented by Encourage Then Empower Ministries, Donna Goodwin Barr, one of 4 speakers.
Yes.
And we're going to learn how to be empowered to overcome, to follow God, to succeed, and to go forward.
Absolutely.
How do we get... now, all the signs out say that reservation is due by the 8th, which is past. Can we still come?
Yes, we extended it till the 15th. And we have a little leeway there. If something happens that you miss the deadline, we've got a couple of days before we have to turn in final numbers to the conference center.
How do we get tickets?
You can call Marcine Baker. Her number is on the sign, or you can email me, and that's donnagoodwinbarr@gmail.com, and I can make sure that the message gets to her.
And it is going to be awesome. Donna Goodwin Barr, thank you so much for what you're bringing to our community.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.